The Mystery Within, Version 1. Chapter 12. Chapter 12. Adelmo found himself in an unusual situation as he waited for Lana to return with a book delivery for a customer. This was the first time he had ever been tasked with such a responsibility, and he couldn't help but wonder what made this particular instance so different. Despite his initial confusion, Adelmo shrugged off his concerns, deciding that it was not worth dwelling on. He figured Lana would be back soon, as indicated by the notes left behind, so he occupied himself by tidying up the store while he waited. As Adelmo went about cleaning, he stumbled upon a book that caught his attention. It seemed oddly familiar, yet he couldn't quite place where he had seen it before. The cover was intriguing, and he found himself drawn to the book, flipping through its pages absent-mindedly. Lost in thought, Adelmo was momentarily distracted from his task of straightening up the shelves. The book seemed to hold a certain allure, and he couldn't shake off the feeling that there was something special about it. Just as Adelmo was engrossed in examining the mysterious book, he suddenly looked up to see Lana making her way back to the store. Her return snapped him out of his reverie, and he quickly set the book aside, eager to resume his duties. Lana's presence brought a sense of normalcy back to the store, and Adelmo felt relieved that she was back. As she approached, he couldn't help but wonder about the book he had found and the strange sense of familiarity it evoked. Despite the momentary distraction, Adelmo was ready to assist Lana with the delivery and get back to the routine of running the store. As Lana stepped through the doors of the store, Adelmo's curiosity got the better of him, and he couldn't help but inquire about the book she was carrying.
"So, what book did you need to deliver?"
he asked, his eyes gleaming with intrigue. Lana, with a mischievous smile, responded,
"Oh, it's a fascinating read on the art of calming and eliminating werewolves."
Adelmo's curiosity reached its peak, and he couldn't help but probe further.
"Do you still have the address?"
he asked, his eyes narrowing slightly. Lana, sensing his suspicion, questioned him back.
"Why do you need the address?"
Adelmo, struggling to find a valid reason, hesitated for a moment before responding,
"Well, just in case. It's just strange, isn't it? Someone suddenly showing interest in werewolves and then purchasing a book about them. It all seems a bit fishy, don't you think?"
Adelmo inquired from Lana.
"Were there any messages for me?"
Lana responded,
"You received a message from Nick, your friend, who was wondering if you would like to meet up again. He suggested giving him a call to confirm."
Adelmo then proceeded to ask Lana,
"Lana, where did that book come from that the man was examining earlier?"
Lana explained,
"The book arrived in the mail this morning. It was sent by a man from Romania."
Adelmo's eyes widened as he examined the package and noticed the name
"Grandfather"
printed on it. His expression turned to one of shock as he processed the information. Lana, noticing his reaction, remarked,
"It seems like it's been a while since you last heard from him. I recall you mentioning him to me before."
Adelmo was taken aback by the unexpected arrival of the package from his grandfather. Memories flooded back as he recalled stories he had shared with Lana about his grandfather. The sudden appearance of the book and the message from Nick seemed to be intertwined in a mysterious way, leaving Adelmo pondering the significance of these events. Lana watched him closely, curious about the emotions playing out on his face, as Adelmo tried to make sense of the situation. Adelmo had just finished his conversation with Lana when he decided to give his friend Nick a call. He couldn't help but feel a sense of curiosity about his grandfather, whom he hadn't seen in a long time. As he walked towards the phone, he couldn't help but wonder what the old man wanted. There were so many unanswered questions in his mind, but he knew that he couldn't go see his grandfather just yet. There were still too many things he needed to figure out for himself before he could leave. Dialing Nick's number, Adelmo waited anxiously for his friend to pick up. Finally, Nick's voice came through the other end of the line.
"Nick here. Can I help you?"
he asked. Adelmo wasted no time and replied,
"It's me, Adelmo. You called me?"
There was a brief pause before Nick responded,
"Hey bud, how's it going?"
Adelmo couldn't help but feel a sense of relief hearing his friend's voice.
"Going good. What did you need?"
he asked, eager to hear what Nick had to say. Nick hesitated for a moment before speaking again.
"I have been noticing some really odd things lately around town,"
he finally said. Adelmo's mind immediately went to the upcoming Mardi Gras celebration, thinking that it might be the cause of the strange occurrences.
Maybe it's because Mardi Gras is coming up in a couple of days,
he suggested. However, Nick's response surprised him.
No, Nick replied. No, it's weirder than normal.
Adelmo's curiosity was piqued even further. He knew that he needed to meet up with Nick to discuss this further. Thinking about his previous engagement at 1 o'clock, Adelmo suggested meeting up for lunch instead.
Hey, did you want to meet up so we can talk? I have a previous engagement with someone at 1 o'clock,
he proposed. Nick seemed open to the idea and replied,
Well, I can take an earlier or later lunch. Up to you.
Adelmo quickly checked the time and suggested,
Well, let me see the time. Hold on a sec. Well, it is going on 11:30, so how about if we go to lunch around noon?
Nick agreed, saying,
Okay, see you at the usual place.
Adelmo couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation as he hung up the phone.